Hello and welcome back to this week's episode. I'm Faye Semple, I'm a geomancer, and I'm thrilled to have you here as we embark on a journey of transformation and discovery, exploring how our homes, our landscape, and our personal lives are all tied up in this trilogy of energy, these three parts of energy. There's us, our homes, the wider landscape, that really all help us to live in harmony with the cosmos and really become the best version of who we were meant to be. So over the years, I've had the privilege of working with thousands of people and thousands of properties to help them navigate challenges in their lives, in their health, in their relationships, in just how things are working out for them. When tends to be they move into a home and things just start to go wrong. Their health starts to suffer, their finances start to suffer, their relationships start to suffer. And all these things are tied up in hidden messages in the energy of our homes. Nobody lives anywhere by accident. We might think we have choice, but in the great scheme of things, we live where we're meant to live, to learn the things that we need to learn. So I hope you'll find insights and strategies here into aligning with your living space, also working with the energies in the landscape, sacred space, to uncover your inner selves. So if you can't find this content valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you never miss an update. So let's create a space, both energetic and physical, that truly reflects and supports your life, the life you aspire to lead. So in this way, I want to talk about homes in a different way. So Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and indeed it is. So the world is a stage, and you have a particular space on that stage. So that stage is then set. It has different sets upon it at different epochs of our lives. So when we're born, the stage is set, the set is of our childhood home. It's where we learn about relationships from our parents. It's where we learn the art of play and imagination. It's where we go through our childhood challenges. And then the set changes and it moves into our own first home away, where we have to function as a young adult out in the world, and the lessons and challenges that come with that. Then the set of the stage moves again as perhaps we welcome our own family into the world, and we start to play the adult roles, whereas on this stage we played the childhood roles. And they're all, of course, those lessons and challenges that come with being a parent, and having children with someone. So each of these sets forms different acts, really, in the play of our life. And you are the star of your own play. And your home is that. It's that set that takes us through different acts, and the world is the stage. So that set has to contain all the prompts and all the props and all the things that we need to act out that part to its fullest. And that's really what your home is. So the home then mirrors this internal journey. It says for this person to act this stuff out in real life, this is the internal journey that they're going on. So I want you to think about your home as a mirror. It's a mirror to your internal world. And what we're going through internally will be visible in our outside home. So when I start first going into homes, I realized very, very quickly that it was actually really insensitive for someone who's going through really big emotional challenges, relationship challenges, health challenges, financial challenges. They might have been suffering from addiction or hoarding, that to say to them, I'm going to do this on an energy line and wave my pendulum about, and your life is going to be okay. Sometimes, there would be temporary improvement, but you could argue that was like a placebo effect. Not that the placebo effect isn't incredibly powerful, but it was almost like they needed to get to the real issues. So I became very interested in this, particularly when it came to around boundaries. So people having problems with, for instance, there were in their relationships that very often there'd be things about boundaries that would come up. So neighbours would be infringing on their boundaries. People would be parking across their drive, or if it was in communal spaces, multi-occupancy spaces, there would be difficulty with neighbours infringing on like shared space, or they would feel uncomfortable about going through, shared spaces in lobbies and things like that. And I very quickly recognised that the people who had the biggest challenges actually had really poor personal boundaries. So those places were inviting those people to work on their boundary issue. They were saying, if this is a problem, this is the bit you need to work on. So our homes are always a mirror of this internal state. So if we have homes that are good for internal abundance, for instance, our internal abundance is our joy, our happiness, all the things that make us an abundant, rounded, full person. We can have great internal abundance in a home, but we might, have less external trappings of abundance, for instance. So we can really be happy, but live in a home where it's got threadbare carpets and we haven't got any curtains. And what that home is saying to us is, you've got in good term abundance, but you're not negotiating enough with the outside world. You're not existing out there enough. You need to go out there in the world to bring in some of these external abundance into your inner world. And similarly, we can have all the trappings of wealth, where we've got everything. We look at that now in today's world and we would go, well, that person should have everything to make them happy. But actually, when it comes down, those are the people that we can see are severely alcoholic, have really dysfunctioning marriages, that commit suicide and we can't work out why. Those people had all the external abundance, but they didn't have the internal abundance. Their home was saying to them, look, you've got all these trappings, but you actually need to work on your emotional intelligence. We've got all this. Now this is the other half of you. So a home is very much a mirror. So I would ask you to think about, how does the current state of your home reflect your personal boundaries? Because, what do you value? What do you hold dear? That will be mirrored in your home. So are there any areas, for instance, that feel particularly open or closed off? And what parts of your home feel most aligned with your personal values and desires? So, for instance, if things like, travel is important to you, for instance, then, is that visible in your home? Do you have things that you've brought back from your travels? Do you have pictures of your travels around you? Do you have an atlas on your coffee table? Do you have a little cabinet full of maps? But is it the things, if this is important to you, is it reflected in your personal space? I mean, that's quite an obvious example, but there are all sorts of things about private space and personal space. For me personally, I'm quite a private person about my personal space. So even though, I work online a lot, I very seldom show the inside. I'll show the inside of my office here, but I don't show the inside of my home, because that's a space that I have. It's very private and personal for me, and I don't want the world to see the inside of my home. I like to keep that as my personal space, because that's where my boundary is. My boundary says, this is my personal space, and that's outside. So, I work in my office, work in my garden office, and that's where I work. And so that I have this delineated world. So it's really important that our home really sets the tone for our values and our boundaries and our desires. So that shows up in many ways. So, where do you consciously or unconsciously set boundaries within your home? That's sort of like, that's my space, that's your space. Do you have areas that support your sense of safety and comfort, or are there any areas of your home that feel invaded or overexposed? Do people walk into your bedroom willy-nilly and you consider that to be personal space? So how might these things mirror your personal experiences with boundary settings? So all these kind of things are tied up, and we'll see it when we, how we enter the home, whether it's cluttered as we enter, whether it's, there are so many little hidden clues that might signify, for instance, where you struggle to maintain boundaries, like clutter hotspots, how the flow of energy comes in and out of your home. So it's about thinking about what changes can you make in your environment to better reflect the boundaries you wish to establish in your personal life. So the things we do in our home are like a metaphor for changes to our own personal boundaries that we want to make, for instance. So, your home really is a place where it supports your privacy, your autonomy. It's where you're sovereign, where you get to set the rules about how your life works. I say rules, guidelines about how your life works. What are the quality and tone of the relationships you want in that home? What does your personhood say about the quality and tone of your relationships with the outside world? All these are hidden in the energy of our home. It's within the earth energy, in the energy of, let's say, yin and yang flows, but energy lines and water, right down to the sort of sacred geometry structures that we see in water crystals. It is all there. Your home is the micro scale of the macro world, and your home is the macro scale, if you like, of your inner world. It is that transmission of your inner world projected out there onto the set, which is your home. So we need to think about all these things when we're working on the energy of our home. It is not just about, removing clutter and putting some crystals in the corner and doing some smudging. All those things are great, but they are all about representing you tapping into your deep and inner wisdom about what your challenges are in life, and what over the lifetime of those challenges, what are the pertinent ones that are calling and facing up to you right now. I mean, we essentially, our whole life is about us becoming more of who we're meant to be. But there will be challenges that we have to overcome to do that. There will be life lessons, there's karma lessons that we'll be bringing in, and they will be often the same things that we're facing now. And then there's our dharma, there's our life's path. What do we come in to do? But our karma is usually the hurdles that we have to face to keep going down this path that we're meant to come. Our karma is what makes us strong enough to fulfill our dharma. So the things that we brought in are the challenges that we have to overcome that will give us the strength to fulfill this life purpose. They work in tandem. So our home is inviting us to ask those deeper questions. And this is why home healing is really important for me, because it's not just about, I want to clear some energy and remove some place memory. There is that as well. But ultimately, it is about getting to the heart of our home. What is this relationship? Because we're in a relationship with our home. It is a space that we live in to uncover something about ourselves, embody something about ourselves at this stage of our life. You live in that home for a particular reason. So what aspects of your home are encouraging you to unfurl more about yourself? How is that showing up in the energy of your home? Is it in your internal abundance? Is it in your external abundance? Is it in the level of, sort of emotional reflection in the home? Is it in the welcoming and guarding energy of your home? How welcome do things, how much do you welcome other things in, or how much do you keep things at bay? Does your home show respect for you and your autonomy? Does it show that you respect yourself? How does the energy flow in and out of your personal space? So how do you relate to other people? How is your boundaries set to define your space? So your home is very much representative of this, your own, as I say, your own personal boundaries and your own relationship with the world, because your home's boundaries represent your personal boundaries, and your personal boundaries are a dynamic interface where we are in relationship with the outside world. What people do I want in my life? What do those people look like? How will they treat me? What opportunities do I want in my life? How do I want to express my values and my gifts and give them to the world? This is a permeable membrane, our energetic boundary. Things have to go out and things have to come in. But our job is to make that boundary the shape that best fits our needs, wants, and desires that come from our soul. and our home reflects those. So my question to you really is to look around you, and does every aspect of your home reflect, radiate, and amplify your inner being? That's the key. And the bits where it doesn't, and I can guarantee, that's always a work in progress. We'll never, we've seldom got a perfect home that represents that we have become perfect beings ourselves. There will always be things that we need to be working on in life. That's life's journey. So nothing will ever be perfect, but they are clues. The mismatch between where your home does not reflect and radiate and amplify your inner being, it's saying to you that those are the things within yourself that you need to encourage. You need to nurture parts of yourself so you can grow into them and express them out there in the world. And if you're not sure what home energy archetype your home is, there are some, to help you uncover what those messages are. You can download my home energy blueprint quiz, which you'll find in the links below, to help you see whether it's really your external or your internal abundance that you need to be concentrating on, and what those lessons are within your home that it's really trying to give you at this stage of your journey. So I hope you'll stick around, like and subscribe. As I say, hit the notifications button so you don't miss anything. And I hope to see you for the next episode.